Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules and Matt Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and talk about it. And today we are talking about, for the very first time, Sarazanmai, as picked by Kaylee. And wow, this is an anime, but you can submit an anime as well, like this one that we're about to talk about, by submitting $5 super chat on YouTube or 500 bits on Twitch. And these are the ones that are here so far. These are the ones that are submitted by me, Matt, and the community. All of these are up for grabs for the next anime. Every 3 weeks, we go out and watch a new anime, rate it, then move on. Here's the ranking so far. If you missed it, we got 3 S tier animes up there. 1F, some C's, B, A, but a lot of S tier anime. And oh boy, do we have an anime that starts with an S. I am not alone on these anime journeys, and I go along with my co-host Matt Galley. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so great. I kept talking about wanting something that was not very serious tonally and a bit more laid back and silly, and we're finally getting that. And oh boy, am I
It's
it's one of those
things. We weren't asking
what you wish for.
Yeah, we weren't asking for some kind of palate cleanser, right? We were waiting for something to kind of break up
something like that. It's cleansing somebody's palate.
Yeah, by doing something completely different. And it is definitely something that we have not dove into yet.
Yeah, we haven't dove into anything really particularly like Sarazanmai. However, it is kind of like and pardon me if I don't say this right, but it is one of a good like deconstruction of like that magic girl kind of type show where like they do the transformation sequences to like stop the bad guy, and they're given power from a godly or powerful patron. So it's giving a deconstruction of that, kind of like other shows that we have watched, but the particular like the pacing of the show and kind of how it's like delivering itself, I can't say we've watched something like this before.
I was thinking less of Sailor Moon than I was thinking more of Power Rangers. I don't know why,
sure,
because I was thinking more Power Rangers because I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on Sailor Moon stuff. But I mean, in Power Rangers, they do the same thing every time, and I'm just like, I'm here for it. There's a little variation in Sailor Moon, I guess, but it is still the same transformation. You know what I mean? Same transformation. Here we are. I thought more of Power Rangers because of what they're fighting, just because it's like huge monsters and the way they do it is kind of crazy. So we're going to talk about Sarazanmai, the beautiful palette cleanser here, because we've been getting into so much thinking, so much crying, and and here we are. You know what I mean? We asked for it. Hello, everybody.
Tear spilled these episodes.
Yeah, no tears, for it. Nothing. I was always kind of confused. Sailor Moon is not a sailor nor a moon. What is the outfit though? Is that not considered the
sailor outfit?
Yeah, isn't that called the sailor? But it doesn't look like a sailor. I mean, it is technically the sailor outfit, but yeah, I think it's more of the outfit. But that doesn't even make sense because you would not wear that on the ships.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Yeah, Sarazanmai. Let's get into it. Oh, I did look it up as well because we have a word here, and I was like, what does this mean? So the word Sarazanmai is derived from the word Sara, which means plate, referring to the plates located on heads of kappas from which they supposedly draw their power, and the suffix zanmai referring to indulgence. So that's a breakdown of the title there. But let's break down the anime. Episode 1, I want to be connected, but I want to lie. What happens in episode 1?
Yasuka meets Kuji, a new student transferring to his school. The two of them, along with Jinai, Yasuka's childhood friend, encounter a kappa that asks them for help in fighting against kappa zombies that appear and begin whisking away people's belongings, today it being cardboard boxes. The kappa removes their shirikodama turning them into a Kappa squad that takes on the zombies in a sequence that needs to be seen to be believed. They're sorry, the Kappa zombies that appear all culminate in one spot where they defeat them and then activate Sarazanmai, having all of their minds linked together as somebody's secret, this time it being Yasuka's, is revealed and broadcast to the other Kappa.
Ooh boy, this is an anime. First, I'm glad we are not getting demonetized. I looked through all of the pictures that you submitted for me, and I'm glad that this is the closest we get to anything. And then if you have not seen the anime just yet, or you're like, I want to hear what they're talking about, this is like the most tame part of it, I think. But it doesn't ever get like raunchy or I mean it's weird.
It's
but
weird, and it's like, but it doesn't ever get into the area of discomfort that something like Bakemonogatari made me feel.
sure.
It keeps it tasteful for the story that it's trying to tell, and I also feel like it's not being played for intense seriousness, and that was
Yeah.
one of my biggest problems with Bakemonogatari, was that I couldn't tell tonally what the show was trying to do. But here it's constantly like it's trying to make you laugh. Like it's nothing
Yeah.
more than trying to make you laugh. It's not
It's
trying to
silly.
deliver a high, avant-garde storytelling experience. It's just trying to be this silly little show about
Yeah.
these frogs fighting
And it's also not like trying to be um like be odd in the way Bakemonogatari was, where it's like, ooh, I'm touching a little girl or something. It's not like trying to play off that either, where it's like, these are little boys, let me suck their butts or whatever. It's like, no, this is just super silly, wanting to make you laugh and all this stuff. Dan on Twitch said this show was wild. It is very wild, and that's insane. Bandit over on YouTube. Oh my goodness. Bandit, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Holy cow. I think that deserves like some applause. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. A Freerin review reaction, please. Freerin, I've heard a lot about it.
Same.
Thank you so much for submitting that. Freerin, add that to the list. We have a ton of anime there. If you'd like to add an anime, it's a $5 super chat. Bandit, if you want, you can add another one. That was $5 too many dollars. If you don't, that's cool, but you do have another addition. So you can add an anime to any of these here. So, or, not one of these, but you can add an anime of your choice. Freerin is definitely going in here, and then we pull it out of the chest for possibly next time. It could be the next one. Who knows? But thank you so much. If you want to add another anime, put that in there. Thank you for the $10 super chat. A thing that I want to talk about is that the animation doesn't look bad.
It's great. It's animated by Mappa.
Yeah, and it looks great. I love, like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was just more than what I was expecting. And I'm like, oh my God, everybody looks cool. All the characters, the way their hair moves, the way they're going. And I love the way it looks. I also love, whether it was the choice by saving money or like it was just a silly choice, I like how anybody that's not a main character is just a gray person. Just a gray outline of a human. And I'm just like, that's so funny.
That's a stylistic choice for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, it could be also like, hey, we're gonna save a couple bucks on drawing little people, and they're just like great.
But even
people.
like even again, like let's take it to the comparison again of Bakemonogatari, where in that show it was like super over the top, super surreal and stuff, but they just had nothing to represent other people.
Yeah,
it was just only the main characters that were involved with the story were ever actually shown. But here it's kind of like, yeah, they only really interact with amongst themselves, but all of those little like just characters moving around. I think that's like, the first time I see that, I laugh. Like I laugh at that because it almost reminds me of like the little portal skits where it shows like the little portal guys wandering around and getting into workplace accidents. Like it's got like a comedic atmosphere to it at all times. And that's exactly another aspect to it for sure.
I mean, what they're going for, they're hitting.
Yeah.
Whether it's what I wanted or what I expected is
I don't know
different,
if it's either of
maybe.
those things,
But
but it's something.
I mean, they're
And it's
hitting their mark.
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's silly. Bandit said, got a lot on y'all's plate, so whenever y'all get to it, it's fine. All right, for sure. It's going to be in the chest, and then we pick them out randomly, and then it may be yours, or maybe one of those. We
But
get,
also
I
the
mean,
intro sequence.
yeah,
Well, super good song. Second, I was like, this is hitting. And then I saw the song was by Kana Boom, and Kana Boom does bangers, bro. That's like, I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised the second I saw their name associated with it.
yeah, intro is super
Didn't
cute.
skip an intro because of them.
No, for
Always on
sure.
point.
Really cute. Love the animation as well. We get the introduction of our main characters, Kazuki, Enta, and Kuji. Kazuki and Enta being the golden duo, who we get a lot of information about later on. They do this interesting thing. I don't know if I love it or hate it. And this is the first time that they're trying to get you into what they're doing in this episode. Is they do this sequence, and there's nothing really telling that it's a dream sequence, and then they just come out of the dream sequence, and it's like, okay, here we are. I don't know if it's a little jarring sometimes. At the beginning, it took me a little bit to understand what was going on and being like, oh, that wasn't real. So how do you feel about that? Because that reappears a couple of times in these 4 episodes.
The first time, definitely, if your first few times definitely catches me off guard, but I think it's by the 3rd episode I kind of started to call him out on it. I was like, oh, this isn't really happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a funny way of showing. I don't know, like for at least in the 3rd episode, it seems to be just kind of daydreaming, fantasizing. But in the 1st episode, these dreams seem to have some interconnectedness between the characters. So that's what the only thing that kind of leaves me wondering what that's about. But if it's just played for the laugh, it's just played for the laugh. We're looking too much.
Yeah. Somebody that you didn't mention was the, oh, I don't have their name. Oh wait, where is this?
The real name either.
Sarah-chan. Sarah-chan is this character that shows up, and I have my thoughts. Maybe I can give those at the end about what Sarah-chan, how they're connected or something, or maybe it's just being over anxious about how this could play out and thinking too ahead. But Sarah-chan is this character that is on everybody's TV, is an influencer, I guess, and everybody loves them. And that's another character that plays into it later on. The Kappa statue is broken, and keeping the heir to the kingdom turns them into not frogs. So this little frog guy turns them into the characters that are kappas, and then he
removes their, I forgot the name of it again, their Shiriko Dama,
removes their Shiriko,
which holds their human desires,
but it's located just past the butt,
which is a real part of the Kappa folklore, that they suck your Shiriko Dama out of your butt.
They suck my what? What, really? I didn't look it up.
It's folklore, so
okay.
But yeah, they didn't
gotta
just
watch out
make
for
that
those
up for the show.
I guess. I don't know. I'm just taking everything as it comes. I'm just like, okay, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
I looked it up. I just looked it up. I didn't actually know that.
Oh my god!
Before watching this,
how much for one of those? Lots of folklore is crazy. So they suck the Shirikodama out of their butts, turns them into little Kappa boys, and Kappa zombies are holding the boxes, taking the boxes away. Sarazanmai, they do the Sarazanmai dance, which is amazing, and they suck the big guy's butt, and they take out the Sarazanmai, or they take out the Shirikodama out of the big guy's butt and save the day. I was not expecting dance breaks.
Yeah.
I was not expecting singing. I was pleasantly surprised, and it's so funny watching this first episode and then going through each episode, and I'm like, oh, they're doing it again. Oh, they're doing it again. Oh, we're doing it every time. Because I don't know if it's in this first episode where the police officers do their dance.
The police officers do not do their dance in the first episode. At the end, they have the little they showcase the door. I forgot the thing they say already. But like, if you don't have desire, connection, or whatever the third thing is, we give you this exit or something. And then he holds up the gun, the thing shows up, but then it ends before we actually see them get into it.
Kazuki is pretending at the end of the episode. Kazuki has been pretending to be the girl Sara, dressing up like Sara, and hopes to be connection to their brother or their sibling,
Haruka.
Haruka, his kid brother. He's pretending to be an idol, dressing up like the idol, taking photos to send to his brother, and trying to build this connection, pretending to be Sara. There's so many things going on, and this first one just felt like a roller coaster, and I was just like, okay, I'm all in. It's silly, it's funny, it's ridiculous, and it's over the top, and here we are. You know what I mean? I'm down for this little ride after the first episode. How do you rate it, like rank it on first episode?
It's good for terms of first episode because we get the whole layout of like what we are going to be set to, you know, kind of experience moving forward, and then it gives itself room for those like I mean, even though like you said, you know, we're going to be doing it every time, it's like it gives itself the room where in the future there's the slight variations where if you're watching and actually paying attention, it's at least entertaining enough, or it at least is self-aware enough that it kind of changes itself up slightly at times. If it was literally just the same thing every time, I think it would get stale.
Yeah,
the fact that it's even willing to change it up a little bit like makes me hope that like as we get further into it, it's going to be open to subverting my expectations on that moving forward, like how the whole police officer guys, like in the second episode I think we get their dance, but we get it again in the third and the fourth, but then in the fourth like they're starting to get pretty ticked off. So it's like it's a very interesting show, and it sets up enough plot threading here to at least have me like, well, I gotta see what happens now.
Yeah, for sure. Episode 2, I want to connect, but I want to take. I think I got that right. Episode 2, what happens from Sarazanmai?
The Kappa rewards the 3 of them with a golden dish to grant them a wish. However, Janai quickly wastes their wish. We are shown the great lengths that Yasuka goes through in order to keep his kid brother happy. Kuji's relationship is also shown with his brother to be complicated, and after a cat grabs a bag of catnip from his desk, he and Yasuka are mistaken as a couple and chase the cat through a couple's fair. After realizing all the cats are being taken by Kappa zombies, they once again have their Shiriko Damas removed, turning into Kappa team once more. It is revealed that Yasuka has even stolen domesticated cats in order to try to make his little brother Haruka happy.
Bro, I love this cat. This cat is the best, dude. Just vibe in there. Oh my god. This cat is the cutest little cat. I love him. I forgot his name though, but best cat ever.
Just
man,
floating around.
He just there. Just went with it. Fuck it, bro. Mood. So we find out that they are going to be granted wishes with these little dishes that rhymed.
Yeah.
And they wasted it. Instantly wasted the golden one, and then from then on they just have silver ones, and that kind of
Does it mean we can wish for this? Wish granted.
Yeah, literally, what is it? A year's worth of roll or something?
Cucumber rolls.
Yeah, and then there you go. You did it. All right, your one golden wish is gone, and now you have to get more. Build up 5 silver ones,
like,
or whatever.
As the Kappas, like, listen to what I'm saying because it's going to be very important, and you don't want to make sure. Can we get 1 million?
Yeah, can we get a year's worth
cucumber rolls?
Boom! There you go. All right.
It just crumples into dust.
We find out the different characters, the main boys that we're looking at. Kuji, I call him Kuji, but you were he has his other name, right?
Kuji, Yasuka, and Janai. Right?
Okay.
Did I call Kuji something else?
I don't know. I thought it was Kazuki. No, Kuji, Kazuki, and Enta is how I have their names. Because that's how they refer to each other?
Yeah, that's Kazuki.
Okay.
What did I say?
I thought
Yasuka?
you said
Why was I saying
Yasuki.
Yasuka?
Yasuka. Yeah. So this is Kuji. He's a bad dude. He wants a dish for his brother. We get the great cat chase of the century. As you know, I'm curious. Well, I guess we kind of get the payoff in the first couple episodes about Kazuki, cross-dressing to be his uh, brother's Sarah replicant. But we get the great cat chase as a couple. Nekoyama. Oh no, Nekoyama was Hammer Cat. Oh, Nekoyama was the guy that the policeman took out and took his Sarazanmai or his so many words.
Yeah, so many words. I'm gonna be
Sure.
real. The whole idea of like they go to that like the cutaway where they're at the department for the recently deceased talking about the investigation, and then the police officers are like, we already wrapped that up, this is yesterday's news. And then it's
Yeah.
like they take the Sarazanmai from the big Kappa spirit, and then that removes that person from like existence or something.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think I'm just not really following if the show is trying to make me understand what's going on with that exactly. I feel like it's just happening, and maybe later we'll get more explanation on it, but I'm not really following that all too well.
So when the Kappa boys take out the Sarazanmai and then he becomes a ghost, they're looking at pictures of them and then they just disappear and they don't remember at all who they were. Nobody remembers who they are. Don't know what that is either. That's totally okay. I'm just along for the ride.
It's totally
fine.
okay. I just want to acknowledge that I see it happening and I'm just like, next thing.
We get Mabu and Rio, which are the name of the police officers, and they do their song break as well. There's 2 songs in each episode now. 2 song breaks, a lot of dancing, and I'm just like, here it is. They're in the big police officer area, and it's just like, all right, light shown, and they do their little dance and all this stuff. It's so good. I love it. I'm here for it. Enta had Kuji's box mixed up, and Enta has Kuji's gun from the box. Shirikadama, extraction, and scene. We get a lot of information about what kind of kids these are. I mean, we get some secrets revealed that even Kazuki would steal a cat for his brother to try and make his brother happy and have a cat because he promised him a cat. Very cute cat. Love this cat. Love this little guy. He's the best.
Best frame of the show.
Episode 3 is where it gets interesting.
Because in the post-credit sequence of episode 2, we see Enta kissing Kazuki after he like collapses from exhaustion.
Kazuki still being in the Sara uniform cosplay. Enta just smunch in there. Just sees
then
his best friend there.
And he doesn't know what just happened.
I didn't know this would turn into a BL, but whatever. I'm rolling with it.
Anyways,
episode 3, I want to connect, but it's not meant to be.
Enta spirals as he tries to come to terms with the distance that has grown between him and Kazuki, with it eating away at him as he also has romantic feelings for Kazuki. Everyone else seems to point out that he seems to be abandoned by his friend, but he holds firm that it's just a phase that his friend is going through. Brides begin to be stolen, including Enta's older sister, removal of Shirikodamas, and we fight more ghosts. Enta's crush is revealed to everyone else, and Enta also shows to be also participating in the active care of Haruka, who seems to have some sort of medical conditions.
Yeah, that's not what I expected. And I was like, oh no. But
kept
Enta,
that low key for
they
a
did.
While. And it's like, I'd never seen him walking.
Actually true. I just saw them sitting. And I was like, oh,
sitting around.
That makes sense. Enta kisses Kazuki. Um, Enta and Kazuki's brother really want Kazuki to play soccer. This is pretty intense want for Kazuki to just continue playing
Because
soccer
ever since
for
he stopped, they haven't seen him smile or laugh.
yeah. And Enta wants to continue to be the golden trio. I love when they do the little golden trio run with their little hands out and they're just like, yeah, I don't know why. It just makes you smile. Every time they run around with their little hands out,
It's
it's just so funny.
animated very playfully.
Yes. I got to say this anime is definitely just super playful, super silly, definitely not family friendly,
No.
but I'm totally okay with it. Enta goes a little crazy in this episode with um he hits the boys. He hits the boys there because it's him
Yeah.
and Kazuki's like playground or play area. And he's just like, what the fuck? Get out of here. And all
Spiraling,
this
bro.
stuff. He's kind of spiraling for his love for Kazuki. Um, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with keeping this, sort of interesting. Them adding more layers to the boys here while also, keeping the whole song and dance and all that stuff, the same stuff. I'm cool with them adding more story because I feel like on its base, it could get a little stale. But we do see, like, within these 4 episodes, we see the building of what these boys are fighting for, and each are fighting for very different things, and they all want these wishes for very different things and their own. They want to keep it for their own.
They're each fighting for their connections, but they're all fighting for their connections for different reasons.
Sure.
Because that was like kind of the big thing right at the start that I kind of haven't really touched on, but like it's all about the connections between everyone and everything in this world. Everything's connected, interconnected. So I feel like as the show goes on, it's all about the showcase of these different characters and how their connections are going to evolve as their relationships develop and what that's going to imply. And we see it already happening by the end of the 4th episode with Kazuki, which we'll get there.
Definitely. I wrote this down in my in my notes. The cops dancing, Mabu and Rio remind me of in Scott Pilgrim, where Patel just starts singing and dancing because I was not expecting that. They're just there and then they start doing their little dance and then going down. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. And they do it every single time now. Enta wants the dishes so that Kazu can play soccer again. And this is where it was introduced, I think, because I wrote it down in this episode, that when someone gets killed, they get erased from everybody's memories. They also did a little thing here with the 2 screenshots that you showed that they got me. Well, not this scene, but this scene where they're kissing again. They do that whole thing where it was just an illusion, and then
I was
they
like,
kiss.
"There's no way, bro. There's no way his friends just like totally just
in
the same boat. Otherwise, they would have already been together."
Yeah, Enta and Kazu kiss, and I'm like, oh my god, they're doing it. But it turns out it was just keeping again, and that's what it was.
He's not a duck, and he's not a frog. Don't say that.
Why is there a child kissing
removed.
Yeah. You're gonna get your butt eaten, bro. Don't say he's a duck. He ain't a duck. He ain't a frog.
He's a king.
I'm confusion because we're talking about Sarazanmai, the best anime. It has butt sucks. It happens, man. Just go with it.
Just go read the Crunchyroll description for the first episode, and trust me, your questions will be answered.
Ente is German for duck.
Oh,
is that true? What? I didn't know that. It was all fake. But then we find out, like you said, Kazu's brother is in a wheelchair, and that could be why he's fighting for him. I mean,
that's what I thought. But then episode 4.
At the end of episode 4. Oh my God. So what? Cosmo says, listen, I'm pro cake eating, but I draw the line on non-humans doing it. It turns them into little super frogs. You don't have a picture of them doing the little dance?
Baku Baku.
There is. It turns them into these little guys. There's so much there's so much like you just got to see it. Like we can't really talk about it.
Yeah, that's what
It's just
I
like you
was
got
trying
to
to
see it.
tell. I was trying to tell Smudge about it earlier, and I was just like, honestly, this whole transformation sequence, you should just watch it just to behold this, if
Yeah.
anything.
It's just really cool. I love the animation. Again, it looks really cool. They're doing like moves. They do the same move every time. They spin in a little circle. They have the shield. Something starts hitting
Something starts
them.
hitting them.
They
They
jump
get through it.
over.
They shoot the water gun. Got to shoot the water gun. Then they
They
break over the top. And then they're like, "We're gonna hold the person who's the highlight of this episode, and they're
yeah.
gonna lead our charge into their butt."
Yeah. And then sucks the butt of the big guy. And then we're done. And then there we go. Literally what the duck. Exactly. It's a great anime. It's a lot of fun. Episode 4. I want to connect, but you're so far away. What happens in episode 4?
Kuji's backstory is begun to be showcased bit by bit as we swap between present day and flashback. Kuji's older brother was harsh on him, but always seemed to be looking out for Kuji's best interest. Even the shop that their parents used to run, him saving it by bringing back a bunch of dirty money. Soba begins to fly, and they once again have their Shiriko Damas removed, turning into Kappa. Toji is shown to have killed someone before, however, in self-defense, then going on to threaten the others that they should never tell another soul. Yasuka shows that he actually hates Haruka as he gives away one of his silver bowls to Kuji.
Ooh boy, I actually hate my brother. You know, the one that I've been doing all this stuff for, the stuff that we haven't really touched on, the becoming Sarah, taking all the pictures of the selfie pic of the day, trying to get all that stuff, cross-dressing, being this other character. I actually hate my brother.
Domesticated cats.
Stealing cats, bro. And actually, I hate my brother. What is that about? We haven't talked about that like subplot of him doing all this stuff and him being sorry. I don't have a problem with it. It's
No.
silly enough. It's nice. I mean, I'm it's funny. It's really funny, and I'm okay with it. So that's kind of how I feel about the whole Sarah, subplot that's happening in behind the scenes, behind the main story.
Yeah, and I think it's like, sure, it could be one thing where it's like he's trying to keep his brother happy, but what if there's also just a part of him that really wants to cross-dress and be pretty?
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm cool with. I mean, even
And
Kuji.
I like that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Even Kuji in this one, I think it's this one where he has eyes for Kazu as well. When Kazu's cross-dressed,
While he's eating
Kuji's
the soba.
like, he's like, oh, hold on.
And that's also initially why I thought Enta, that's why he was doing that initially when he kissed Kazuki while he was asleep and still in his, like, that's why I thought it made a point to keep him in costume, was because it was like, oh, Enta actually has a crush on Sara, the celebrity figure, and so like, oh, my friends, but like it's just that he has a crush on his friend. So at least that's it seems like that's pretty.
Because they want to be golden. He wants to be golden duo with him, and
but when you throw in the whole Yasuka hates Haruka thing, then it's like, why is Yasuka doing anything that he's been doing?
Yeah.
Like, what's the driving force behind that? Because the show started with him saying that like he refuses to lose a connection again, and we are led on to believe that the connection he's implying is the one between him and Haruka. But maybe that's not actually as black and white as the show made it out to be.
Sure. And I'm down for it to be deeper than that. I don't want him to like, I don't know, do something bad to his brother.
Yeah, exactly. Your little brother in a wheelchair. What do you want?
You mean your little brother in a wheelchair? You actually hate him? Fuck, bro. Chill, dude.
The one that's terminal. He's got 2 years to live. Like,
yeah. We get a flashback of Kuji's family life. How Kuji's relatives own the soba shop. How it used to be his family's. His brother works for this bad dude, gets bad money, gets a gun, all this stuff. And also we get Kazu asking Kuji to kidnap Sara for him for this meet and greet that is supposed to happen with Sara and his brother, and he wants to be Sara at the meet and greet so he can still play the game that he's playing with his brother about being this character and wants to seem real and all that stuff. I don't know how that's going to end. How do you think the side story of him being Sara, like his brother, ultimately I think his brother's going to find out and then be like, it's okay, it's whatever because I'm 7 or something. It's like it's fine, and this was actually really cool, thank you for doing that. I don't
I don't
see it
know.
going bad. Like his brother's gonna find
I think
out.
yeah, his brother, like there's got to be the reveal of it at some point, but I feel like his brother like to a certain degree would be okay with it. Not okay with it actually. I think his brother would be upset that like, hey, you're doing this in service of me, but I've noticed that you've stopped being yourself. And I don't want you doing these things for me if it means that you don't get to be yourself.
Do you think, oh, I just epiphanied right now. Do you think that his connection with his brother as Sara has made him not have enough time for soccer anymore? So like that's maybe why he's resenting his brother,
I
because
think
he's like,
that's why he quit. Yeah. I
yeah,
think that's
like
why he quit soccer and stopped
I
doing
didn't
it
even
was
think about that
because
till
he
right
was so
now.
busy doing all of these things in service to Haruka. And even though it's like on at the forefront, it's like, yeah, I'd more than be ready to give up the things that I love for this person that I care about and that I want to see happy. But then yeah, at a certain point, if you stop, self-care and you're not taking care of yourself, there's going to be some animosity that starts to grow there, whether or not
Mm-hmm.
it's consciously. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that whether or not he started with good intentions, it could be that over a course of time, he's now grown to, yeah, have some resentment towards his little brother because it's like, oh my God, he talked about wanting a cat. Now I have to go steal a cat. Oh my God, he talked about wanting this.
Yeah.
Now I have to go do this. When initially it was just like, oh my God, I really want to talk to Sara. Imagine if I got to talk to Sara every day. So he's like,
I can do that.
I could do that. Cross dressing sounds kind of fun. Taking selfies is easy, but then it becomes something that's every day. And then it's also, yeah, I need you to kidnap Sara, the real Sara. I need you to kidnap her manager, and then you kidnap her so that way I can sneak in and be the sit-in for Sara because I promised Haruka that she was going to say some secret message to him.
It's gone a long way from just sending texts back and forth.
Exactly.
And it makes me
I think there's a
believe that
lesson
that's the
there.
reason.
I think there's a lesson there.
Do, do you
One
put
about
yourself
staying within within a certain scope when you're doing things for somebody else in order to maintain connections, but also ensuring that to not lie.
Sure.
That once it's the whole digging your hole deeper constantly every time you lie again, every time another lie is told about a situation, it's another drive of a shovel into a grave that just keeps getting dug deeper, when you could just be honest and have that not be the case, have that all that alleviated. But the deeper that hole gets dug, the harder it is to see out of it.
The thing that's interesting is that when we get that extracting part or leaking part, when their minds are together during Sarazanmai and they're taking down the big character, and then what's leaked between them is some secret from them. And we've always had a character that's been the main focus of it. Some secrets have been revealed to the other two, like the kiss, like Kuji's parents dying when he was 10, and then the whole Kuji shooting that one guy, and then his brother taking the blame for it because he wanted the best for his brother. So all of that, a lot of stuff is being leaked over this time, and it's really interesting that they all have some sort of secrets that they're trying to keep. And secrets, lies, how deep do you think? I mean, we talked about the situation, how it might be that Kazu is not playing soccer because of his brother. How deep do you think it'll go into analyzing human lies, secrets, and all that stuff. Because I think
Yeah.
it'll still be super silly. I
I
don't know how
think it's
deep it'll
definitely
go.
gonna, at one point we're gonna have to have Enta and Kazuki like not being friends anymore for some reason, probably. I really want to see the whatever happens with Yasuka and Haruka. I want to see there be some sort of like realistic reason as to why that's the case after again we've gotten the whole setup of the first few episodes where we're supposed to be believing that he's doing all these things for his little brother, and I think that what I was mentioning is kind of the direction that it's going to go, but I'm not sure. I want to see, because like, we've gotten these first 4 episodes, everything's been for the most part light and joyful, but I do think that this show has the potential of just at some point kind of going in a direction to subvert expectations and taking an episode or two to make things a little bit more dreary, dreadful, have those connections be strained just for it to come full circle again when everybody realizes the true meaning of maintaining those connections, and the Sarazanmai were the friends we made along the way.
Do you think it'll go as far as like dropping the silliness? Like, imagine it's silly for these first half or something, and then it's just instant switch, just like people are dying. This is the end of the world. Because I mean, it has the opportunities to be like it's the end of the world because we're talking about this kappa that sucks butts, and then we have to fight this imaginary thing that no humans can see, and it's just whisking things off. It whisked people away, it whisked brides away, girls were just
I was
flying in the
cracking
air.
up. Dude, I was like, oh, just people.
Because they
And
did,
then we pressed down to miso soup. I'm just like,
yeah.
what's going on?
We get the cats, we get the soup, we get the girls just flying in the air, just away, just like, oh, look at all of them go. And it's on the news. The news is like, look at this every day, every
You can
single
see the
day.
objects, but not the carriers.
Yeah, every single day a different object, but also a different object that was mentioned on Sarah's stream in the morning.
Yes. It's each time it's been connected to whatever she says the happy selfie is.
The happy selfie thing, the item that you take a selfie with for the day, gets whisked off because it was boxes, cats, people, all that stuff. Do you have a theory there? Because I think there's something there. Because I don't know if it's just being silly. Like, okay, this is the item for the episode. Here's the item. Here's the thing. And then, like, oh, some guy's going to be taking bath water from girls or whatever. The whole story that's happening in the show. You got to watch it. We're not explaining anything about it. We're not explaining
Really
like
not.
50%. We're explaining 50% of the story. There's a lot going on more than we're talking about. But do you think there's a connection between Sarah? Is she the big bad? Are we gonna have to end up facing Sarah at the end? Because I think that's where it's going. I think
It's
Sarah.
either Sarah or the cops, right? Because
I
like
think
the Kappa seem to be in direct conflict with whatever the cops are trying to do, which I don't understand why. The seals, right? Or the otters. There's some there's this group of unseen people that operate under the label of an otter that are giving commands to the cops about like, you better stop letting them get away with this.
We're missing our quota.
What are they getting away with?
Yeah. We're missing our butt quota.
So
give us our butts.
There's too many like little things going on for me to really, I think, like be able to have a solid idea of what this show is actually trying to do going forward. It could do anything, I think, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm gonna gel with it because it's left itself in a state of absurdity that I cannot like wrap my head entirely around.
I think my big pull here is that Sarah is the leader of the otters. That's the cops are doing her bidding. Why? I mean, they did talk to like a being, like you said, there was some being there that what they were talking to. They were like, you're missing your quota, you better not let them get away with it.
The company
is yeah, pretty much. And I think that leader is Sarah. Why she's doing it? What does it benefit her? What does it benefit the bad
Connections.
guys turning into these characters that just suck up whatever? I don't know. Why did it just start happening or has been happening this whole time?
Connections.
Before the Kappa? Do they want to take the Kappa's ability? I mean, the Kappa king or keeping, I think that's their name, the heir to the Kappa kingdom has a pretty powerful power that he could just grant wishes. Not the butt suck, not this, not the extraction. He has a pretty powerful power where he can just grant wishes. Like there's just a being out there that can do that. Is there something to they want that power? They want to find the Kappa. I might be looking too into this. I don't know. It's just a
Well,
really silly
originally the
show.
Kappa kind of says like, I need your guys' help, and then they're just like, is that a frog? And he
Yeah.
just transforms them right away.
Yeah.
So they never really get the your planet is in incredible danger like bit. They just kind of get thrown right into it, which is like, okay, but yeah, it makes you wonder what the frog is kind of doing there in the first place.
No clue.
I do on the note of extraction, I think it's really funny how even just after the first time they all kind of accept it.
Yeah.
Like every other time extraction happens, they just automatically could just face the other direction. They're just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, like turn me in, turn me now. And then they're like, boom. And then it does the same animation. I do like the variations though. I mean, it is the same animation sometimes, most of the time, but the variations in who's singing lead, even
Yeah,
Kuji in this
exactly.
last episode, Kuji was singing lead. He was the one in the front. I was like, oh, cool. And then Sara, and they all sing. It's so
Baku
great.
Baku.
It's so silly. The songs are so silly. This anime is so weird. Given this, if you just watched
I don't think so.
the rest of the question is if you just watch the first 3 episodes, because usually when you're watching anime, you got to give it like 3 episodes, and then you're like, do I keep watching? Do I continue or do I stop here? Let us know in the chat if you are watching the show, if you thought about it and like, I don't know if I would watch this on my own, but you're watching it for us. So thank you so much. Matt, if you watch the first 3 episodes of this anime and you just found it on Crunchyroll one day, you watched the first 3, and then you were like, should I do another episode?
I don't
Is it a
know if
yes
I'm
or a
starting
no?
episode 4, man.
Is
It's
it a
just
skip?
it's not that it's so bad that I have to skip, but it's just like it's oh my god, it's sometimes the absurdity factor for me is driven up to a point where I find myself having to kind of like, oh shoot, I just missed a few lines of dialogue because I was just not thinking.
Yeah.
So like that's the only thing where it's like I guess it's just it has a hard time sometimes keeping my attention from like scene to scene, and I need to remind myself to pay attention. And I don't always have to do that. I don't know if these next sets of episodes will be different and I don't find myself doing that, but considerably more than with other shows. I had to keep like hitting that, oh, go back, go back, go back. I missed something. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't read that. It's not because it's bad, but I feel like I would get weary of watching it because of the absurdity factor. That's like on the surface what I think is getting to me, but whether or not that's true, I guess we'll find out as we move forward more. How would you think you would be sitting?
I think I would be interested more in the side stuff, like him cross-dressing. I don't know if I've watched an anime where I'm not super into or know many that are like boys love stuff, like BL stuff. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen one where it was like this. Like, I thought he just really wanted to be the golden duo. And I was like, okay, cool. And then threw me for a loop where he's like, no, I love this boy. Like, he's my, person. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen an anime like that. So I think that would keep me going. Just to see how that sort of plays or how they do it, if they do it well, because I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, that is something that's really refreshing to see out of the show because, yeah, you don't get a lot of representation of that in most popular anime. And even this anime itself, I could see compared to many other anime that we've watched in the past, had very low numbers in terms of its like vote count, rating counts, and like comment counts.
Mm-hmm. And I think that paired with that they're doing it in not a salacious way, that I'm more about it. I'm more like, just okay, here we are. And it also has that Power Rangers effect for me, where I'm just like, these are the Power Rangers. I really like the Power Rangers, and they're doing the same things, and I'm like, okay, this is familiarity. Here we go. So I don't know. I think it'll be 50-50.
It is placed in there nicely in juxtaposition to the other stories, which are more about like, you know, the sibling connections, but then it's also like, you know, a childhood connection. But like, what if you had that childhood connection that just somebody always wants to be more than something else? So
I think it would be about a 50-50 if I click that next episode button after 3 episodes.
On the fence.
On the fence. Especially when you see this little guy just hanging out.
That cat made my day, man.
Matt,
orange fat cat.
Next week we're gonna watch episode 5 through 8. Episode 5 through 8.
6, yes.
5 through 8 episode of Sarazanmai. Go watch it. Go catch up if you didn't watch the first 4 episodes. It is a watch. You just gotta, just watch the first episode. It's really silly. It's insane. We're gonna be watching episode 5 through 8. So if you're watching along with us, go ahead and watch 5 through 8 by next Wednesday, and we'll give our thoughts there. Matt, when you're not getting Sarazanmai, where can they find you?
You could find me on my social medias at
I gotta change it.
Matt_Galley. I've been working to get YouTube streaming up and running, but something about my PC or OBS has not been working when I do my test streams. So be patient with me. But I'm getting my YouTube ready to go at Matt Galley on YouTube. Jules, when we're not here having our Shiriko Damas removed, where can the people find you?
Find me on YouTube, youtube.com/JulesTheHuman, youtube.com/JulesTheHuman. And if you're like watching on Twitch and you're like, where did he go? He doesn't stream anymore. I only stream this podcast on Twitch. I stream all of my other games on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/JulesTheHuman. I've been playing Hades, playing Helldivers, been doing a lot of stuff. Thank you so much for everybody that's watching on YouTube and on Twitch. Come on over to YouTube, go subscribe. You'll get updates for when I go live and stuff. People have emotes just like last time that you can use in all my content. Go check out all the stuff. YouTube, JulesTheHuman. You can also watch this podcast on Spotify. Go look up the Jules and Matt Anime Hour. All the episodes you can watch. You don't have to just listen. The videos are uploaded over there as well. You can leave us a review and all that stuff. Next time we pick an anime, we are going to be picking from this and also from our amazing bandit. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat.
Yeah, and again, even if you want to add one again later, just let us know that you want to add another anime from the $10 you submitted before with free run.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really want to watch free run.
I've been seeing it a lot, and I've been waiting. Actually, so something else I didn't mention actually that I'd like to mention before we go here. The ending sequence of this show, was super cool. I know that it's not the only show to do like, you know, live shots juxtaposed with animation and stuff like that, but I do just want to say that there are certain aspects to this anime that just jump out at me and remind me of other anime, and the ending sequence just reminds me of I don't know, have you ever seen Fooly Cooly? FLCL?
No.
That is
you've mentioned it before.
That's a deep cut, but the ending sequence reminds me of that, where on that one, like, it's a shot of a moped that like drives around this like a Japanese farmland region, and it's very aesthetically pleasing, and it reminded me of that one because it's like the real with the animated juxtaposed on top of each other. Really interesting. I like a lot of the animation, the sound design, everything around this show is just so appealing and aesthetically pleasing, but then you're just trying to keep up with everything moment to moment, and it's like, it's absurd and it's overwhelming, but it knows what it wants to be, and I can at least give it credit on that.
Yeah, definitely. Claire on Twitch says, you stream your game into a tube. Is it a very long tube that leads to other tubes? Yes, it leads to you, the YouTube. That's the part of it. Yes, that is the tube I'll be streaming in. Thank you so much for watching. Watch episode 5 through 8 of Sarazanmai before next week, and leave us your thoughts in the Discord. Watch this episode, go back and watch the other ones. We rated a bunch of anime already. Go check out all the other episodes. Thank you so much. It sounds fake to me. Oop, well, it's real. Go check it out. I'm gonna go play some more Hades, maybe. Thank you so much for watching. That's been the JulesTheHuman Anime Hour, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.